What is up, everybody? It's your boy Shazwi, and welcome back to another video, Shazwi gang. Yay! How is everybody doing? I'm doing all right. If you're new to this channel and you're clicking on me for the very first time, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn that post notification button so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Now, with that being said, let's get straight into today's content. Let's go, everybody. I hope that you're all doing well. Happy Saturday in whatever part of the world that you're in. It's super early here where I am actually. It's actually almost 1 a.m. But I'm like already used to filming videos like really late at this point, and it's totally fine. So in this video today, I wanted to talk about two main things actually. So I usually like do videos focusing on like one main topic, but there are a bunch of things that I did want to talk about, and I was just like, you know, let me talk about both of these things as like they're both trending and they're things that I was like really interested in discussing. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was 13 Reasons Why. So for those of you who don't know what 13 Reasons Why is, it's basically a show about a girl named Hannah Baker, a 17-year-old girl, junior in high school, and pretty much what happens is she commits suicide. And so she leaves behind a box of tapes that detail all the reasons why she committed suicide. And throughout the show, the main character, Clay Jensen, who was someone who was friends with Hannah Baker, you know, at one point it was sort of even more than friends. Basically, he, you know, is the last person to receive the tapes, and he really takes it to heart what happened to her. And throughout the first season, he tries to come to terms with the reasons for her committing suicide, and he tries to challenge people, and he tries to, you know, try to sort of bring justice for Hannah's death, you know, for her committing suicide. But it's like too late, the girl committed suicide, but you know what I mean. So the show is really brilliant, and it came out to rave reviews, you know, from the beginning. And you know, and I loved it. It's like probably my favorite Netflix show to come out ever. It's brilliant because I was like, wow, this show, like the way it's directed is brilliant. Each episode is a different tape. And just how, you know, it's not a typical high school movie. It's very real. It's very realistic. Even the suicide scene that they put in there, I didn't expect them to put it in, but it was incredible. Anyway, so the reason why I'm talking about 13 Reasons Why now is because the final season came out. And I wanted to talk about like why 13 Reasons Why has 4 seasons and what to expect from this last season, the fourth one. So why I say why it has 4 seasons is because I think 13 Reasons Why was actually meant to be a mini series, like just have 1 season and it end there. Now, if you look at the show, the first season was perfect. The way it was crafted, everything just blended well together, which is why obviously I'm not surprised that, you know, it had a rating of like 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, with like an audience rating of 79%. Not that reviews should matter, but you know, people are loving the show. It's written here, 13 Reasons Why complements its best-selling source material. Oh, by the way, it's from a book, which was a bestseller. With a gripping look at the adolescent grief whose narrative maturity believes it's YA Miller, I don't know what it's trying to say. Some fancy language. Anyway, so, but as the seasons went on, the reviews became more negative and more mixed, and you know, people shared concerns, add concerns that, you know, I also have concerns about too, which is the fact that the show was all about talking about suicide and mental health and everything, but then it became this murder mystery. Now, season 2 was necessary. You know, the review for season 2 is, by deviating from its source material, 13 Reasons Why can better explore its tenderly crafted characters. Unfortunately, in the process, it loses track of what made the show so gripping in the first place. And I sort of agree to that because, you know, it is true they did deviate from what the show was really about Hannah Baker, because it's like with the first season being done, I wondered, well, her story has been told. We know the 13 reasons why she committed suicide. That's the whole point of the show. Because the concept of the show was very limited. So it's like you have to stay on that track. And I think that's why the show ended up getting all of these negative reviews, or it went down in percentages or whatever as time went on. You know what I mean? Like, people still love the show, like audience rating wise, is and just like people watching it, it's still super popular. I mean, with this trailer that came out, it's still on the trending list, like on YouTube. It only came out 2 days ago and it already has 2.7 million views. So it's clearly, and you know, even looking at the comments, people are excited about it. But like I saw this really interesting comment that said season 1, 13 reasons why, season 2, 13 reasons why, season 3, Riverdale, season 4, How to Get Away with Murder. And it's so true, because when I saw the season 3 trailer and watched season 3, I was like, this isn't even 13 reasons why anymore. It's like a literal murder mystery show. They're talking about, you know, that's when I realized to myself, like, damn, not necessarily that they ran out of ideas, but it's like this show should have ended at least after season 2. If it ended at season 1, it would have stayed like perfect. It season 2 was necessary, and that's why if it ended after season 2, it'd still be really good. Still love the show. Now, don't get me wrong, season 3 was really like good. Like if you just watched it on its own, like it was entertaining. It was good. It wasn't cringy or anything, but just what the issue is that based on the origin of the story and just what the whole concept of the show is about, it deviated so much that it's like you're trying to combine a show and its spin-off into one show, and it just doesn't work. It's like doing two different shows in one. It just doesn't work that way, you know. So yeah. So as you can see in the final season, if you haven't watched the trailer, you should definitely watch it. Basically, so in season 3, obviously, it was all about Bryce finding out who killed him, and we found out, spoiler alert, that it was Alex who killed him, and Jessica was with him when he did it. It was by mistake, but it still happened. You killed the dude, you killed the dude. Anyway, died by drowning. And then in season 4, it seems like the main focus is on Monty, and basically his sort of like his lover, or the dude he was saying, trying to get evidence for exposing Clay and all of his friends and why they covered up the murder and all that stuff. So in this final season, you know, I'm expecting it to be a season about everything coming out. It's the end to everything. I'm expecting maybe a death of a certain character, or a character at least going to jail, like something super dramatic of at least one of the main characters. One thing I also really want to see as well is what happened to Marcus and Sheila. That's something I'm really interested in. I don't expect the show to like give us closure with those characters, but I really loved Marcus and Sheila. Well, especially Sheila. You know, she's always been like really cool and stuff like that. You know, I'm interested to see what happened to her. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting show. I'm looking forward to see Clay and Annie, you know, being all lovey-dovey and stuff like that. I hope they're still together. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's still a great show. I still love it. I think it's really good. It's just these last 2 seasons, especially season 3, just does not fit in with the show at all. It should have ended after season 1 and 2, and then these other seasons that are coming out should have been like a whole different show under a whole different like name. You know what I mean? But yeah. So moving on from that, I also wanted to talk about Joe Biden and what he said today in regards to African Americans and Black people in general. So he was on The Breakfast Club and he was talking to Charlemagne the God. So for those of you who do not know who Charlemagne the God is, basically he is a radio host presenter who's always on The Breakfast Club with DJ Envy, Angela Yee, really, you know, cool guy interviewer, and obviously Joe Biden, you know, former vice president, was being interviewed with him. So here's the clip of what happened and why people are talking about what happened today.
Thanks so much. That's really our time. I apologize.
You can't do that to black media.
I can't do that to white media and black media because my wife has to go on at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm in trouble.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see.
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years. I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run. Come on. Take a look at the record.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Anyway, thanks. I will come back.
All right.
I look forward to seeing you in person.
That was quite an exchange.
Yeah. So as you can see, what people were so like pissed off about was that like sort of middle-ish comment that he was saying about, you know, if you like don't vote for me or having second thoughts of voting for me, you ain't black. And I do get the backlash and the outrage over this, but I think people are being over dramatic because really it's all about the context. I understood where he was coming from and what he was saying. I guess it just came off the wrong way because whenever you bring race into whatever you're talking about, and because we live in this very politically correct, you know, social media exposing everything sort of like atmosphere nowadays where people attack every single thing you say and every single syllable, excuse me, it doesn't surprise me that people would have this negative outlook on what he said. Because all the outrage that really came about, like, especially from black people, are talking about how, who is he to define blackness? He truly believes that he, a 77-year-old white man, should dictate how black people should behave. This is what the Republicans were saying, like what they said on Fox. Yeah, and then someone said there's no place for a white man to define blackness in America, all that stuff. Now, what I think about it is that at the end of the day, there's no other white person, especially in the political sphere, a white man, just like Biden, who is an ally of the African American community. He has a resume. He has a history of doing things, supporting black people. And that's why I don't think, you know, what his comments said is really going to affect his vote to the African Americans and what will happen because like he has, you know, the actions to show for it. So I pretty much wanted to research what exactly he's done for the African American community, like black people in America in general, and like why he had such, you know, a great voter turnout among black people, why they like voted for him in the primaries and how he won the Democratic nomination. And it says here that it all started like back in the 70s or like late 60s when he was like in Delaware, which is where he's from. And so I'm just pulling it up right here. Yeah, so basically Biden has credited his early years in Delaware politics as formative, particularly when he was part of this group known as the Bucket. Okay, it's a community which is largely African American. And it's like a downtrodden northeast Wilmington neighborhood that was home to housing projects, crime, drugs, violence. He returned to the area as a young lawyer during the 1968 Wilmington riots after the assassination of MLK. He represented the community of Newcastle as a county councilman, supporting public housing and opposing highway projects he saw as potentially harmful to black neighborhoods. After his election to the Senate in 1972, he remained a fixture in the black community, a regular at the annual NAACP dinner, and a commencement speaker at historically black Delaware State University. Hence why the NAACP actually, you know, supported this campaign. And if you look at all of the other Democratic nominees who Biden defeated, all the way from, you know, Sanders to Klobuchar to Warren and all that stuff, they have all endorsed Joe Biden. You know, because really the aim is to defeat Trump at the end of the day. And in my opinion, if you refuse to vote for Biden and that's your like free will, like you can do that, that's cool. But to me, people who purposely don't vote for Biden, like it's you're the same as people who do vote for Trump. Because you know who the other option is. So what you're pretty much saying is, I don't want Biden, I won't vote for him. But people are going to go out and vote for Trump. So it's like, I'll just set Trump, you know, win and we'll just settle for that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, you know, by not supporting a candidate means you do support the other. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that you not voting for Biden inadvertently gives Trump an advantage and will lead to him getting the vote that you're not making up for. But if, you know, we show up in large numbers and vote for Biden. It's funny I say we though because I'm ineligible to vote because I'm not from America. I'm not a citizen. I'm Zimbabwean. But it's I just want you to really think about things that are said and just think about how the media can really, you know, blow things out of proportion and take things out of context. You just have to really keep an ear out and really understand what people are trying to say, okay? That's all I was trying to say. But what Biden's like representative said when she was like, oh, he said it in jest, I was like, I don't think that was meant to be a joke. I think he was serious when he said that. I don't know. But yeah, he did apologize though. He was like, no, I shouldn't have been so cavalier. You know, he obviously like knows you can't make people vote for you or whatever it is, but it made sense what he was saying in the sense of, I have a track record. I have been an ally of the African American community for like 40 years now. I've done all of this, you know. Obviously he served under Obama, which is also a main catapult of his popularity among African Americans and minorities in America. So we'll see how it goes. I do want Biden to win, you know. I do support him. I think he's a cool guy. I think he's fine. No one's perfect at the end of the day, but if there's one person who's really going to listen to black people, listen to us in this country, in terms of white people, especially like white males who are like at the top, he is there. He's at the forefront of that. There's really no one, especially compared to Trump. Hello, he's like up there. He's the guy. So y'all better get off your asses and do what you gotta do. Nah, I'm just kidding though. Like, it's your free will. Do whatever you want to do. Don't feel pressure to vote anyway. It's really up to you. But these are issues that do concern us, so you know, just think about it. You never know. If it was me, I would vote, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have an incredible weekend. In whatever part of the world you're in, stay safe, stay healthy, stay the awesome and amazing you that you are, and stay tuned for the very next video, okay, Shazzy Gang? I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye-bye.